fear.
I'm scared because I don't want to have the coronavirus.
I'm nervous, real nervous. Is it worth the risk?
Uncertainty.
We can't predict all of that that's going to go on.
This is an evolving situation.
Controversy.
I am ready for the doors to open and for my kids to get back to normal.
We don't even have PPEs for teachers. There's no plan for them.
A new school year with new dangers.
And we're putting our kids and employees' lives at risk.
I'm not willing to sacrifice one of my students' health.
New challenges.
There's a true digital divide among students.
It just took forever, and sometimes it's poor quality and you can't hear what's going on.
And new solutions.
We will provide Chromebooks for all students.
Real benefits to that is students can work at their own pace.
Remote or in person.
We can't live our life in fear.
It's going to look different.
WVTM 13 Chronicle, reopening schools. Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Crane. Welcome to WVTM 13 Chronicle, reopening schools. When students return to class this fall, this will be required. Everyone second grade and older must wear a mask or face covering. Now many districts have delayed their start date, pushing them back several weeks, hoping the coronavirus might be better contained at that point. All districts are offering parents the choice of traditional face-to-face education or learning remotely from home. The Alabama Education Association just released the results of a survey of more than 40,000 Alabama educators. 65% say they are very uncomfortable returning to their schools to teach. 62% say schools should only open with the remote learning option. But many of the school districts in central Alabama seem to be leaning towards offering at least some face-to-face instruction. Now, making these decisions has been difficult for everyone involved. The constantly changing situation makes it even more frightening. WVTM 13's Bria Douglas spoke to parents and teachers about their hopes, fears, and concerns.
How can we, as teachers, tell these kids they're safe when they're not in a safe environment? It can't be safe if there's a risk that they're going to catch COVID.
That's what many Central Alabama teachers have been worrying about for weeks. As Alabama's COVID-19 cases hit record numbers, the thought of school children gathering in large numbers in classrooms is frightening for many.
We can't really compromise our health, and the health of our families and our kids and our students.
Really don't want to take a chance with my kids, I would rather start with the online classes for a couple months and see how it goes.
But not all teachers or parents agree.
I'm concerned, but we can't live our life in fear. At some point, we've got to live our life and we've got to move forward and just take as many precautions as we can.
Erica Hughes is a third grade teacher at Gardendale Elementary. She's also the mother of 3 school-aged children.
As a parent, I am ready for the doors to open and for my kids to get back to normal. I feel like our kids are so far behind right now because we've been closed since March. And honestly, even as a teacher, I know my kids didn't get what they needed from March to May.
Trying to figure out what's best for our students' health and well-being has taken months, with leaders in many school districts making decisions and then revising their plans, even pushing back school start dates. No matter the plan, educating our children during a pandemic is a learning experience for everyone involved, but some say it will take the education out of school.
I think that the focus will be more on keeping everybody safe and healthy rather than actually teaching.
Bria Douglas, WVTM 13.
As a parent, these are stressful and worrisome times. Trying to figure out what's best for our children isn't easy. Now imagine your child has special needs, or they're considered high risk if they were to get sick. But the education and therapy they receive at school is vital to tapping into their full potential. Danielle Nunley knows the weight of that dilemma. She's a single mother of 2 adorable daughters, 5-year-old Charlotte and 3-year-old Hazel. Hazel has cerebral palsy, epilepsy, asthma, and she's legally blind. She's supposed to start a special pre-K program in Blount County this year, but Mom is torn about what to do.
She is very much at risk. For anything, not just COVID, it would put her in the hospital immediately. There's no question. And it's one of those scary moments as a mom of, is it worth the risk, or do I just, in a sense, just pull both of them and homeschool them? I don't know the answer.
Special education teachers say instructing during a pandemic would be difficult at best.
It's impossible for me to academically social distance between my children to provide the level of teaching that's required for them.
The governor is handing out some of Alabama's almost $2 billion in federal CARES Act funding. She announced a total of $170 million for schools, $100 million to go to local districts to help strengthen their remote learning capabilities, and $70 million for public schools to minimize the risk of exposure and spread of COVID-19. Now, that money will be awarded to districts based on a list of criteria, including student enrollment, poverty level, and the impact of the virus. However, a group of Alabama state senators wants a unified statewide response to keep our kids safe. Now, the state school superintendent gave that control to the districts, but these lawmakers say that federal funding should be used by the state to implement the same safety precautions in every district. The state school superintendent released his roadmap for reopening schools several weeks ago. It's 46 pages filled with recommendations for local school districts, but not requirements.
So it's there to designed to help. It is not the answer to everything. Every school is going to look different. Every school already looks different around the state. What we do in one rural community cannot be the same as we react in one of our major cities.
That roadmap that he gave leads to nowhere. It leads to destruction.
3 state senators came up with their own plan. They want more specific mandates from the state to keep students safe in every district. They want a school nurse in every school. That would mean hiring 300 additional nurses, a separate isolation area at all schools, every student screened daily, and all students tested for the coronavirus.
We're spending $36 million to test 4-year and 2-year colleges, and we're not spending a dime to test our babies who are the most vulnerable in this whole picture.
The senators worked with the State School Nurses Association on the plan.
We felt that this would be a wonderful way to provide equitable care across the state. So it didn't matter if you were in Lochapoka, Alabama, or if you're in Mountain Brook. It doesn't matter. You get the same thing.
The price tag is estimated at $150 million. They say that money could come from the federal CARES Act, but it would have to happen quickly.
If we don't use these federal dollars by December 31st, they're gone. We won't even touch them.
As it stands now, each of the state's 137 school districts is implementing its own safety plan.
We're going to end up with 137 different so-called safety plans, and at the end of the day, I don't think anyone would be safe at all.
Not all school districts are equal. Their funding comes primarily from property taxes, so wealthier communities have more money than poorer ones. And while some districts are equipping their students with computers, tablets, and other tech, others may struggle to provide that access.
Schools in my district, these schools that are in my area, don't have the kind of local dollars that the Mount Brooks or the Baldwin County school systems or the Shelby County school system has. And we just want to make sure that every child that walks into the school is safe.
This is a 90-some+% poverty-stricken school district, and we do not have the Wi-Fi connections that are needed.
Reliable internet is also a problem in rural areas of Alabama.
We have internet, it's just extremely slow and isn't working.
You're very limited in the options that you have.
What utility companies and school districts are doing to ensure no student is left behind because of weak Wi-Fi. And later, straight from the mouths of those most affected,
it just won't be the same.
What children are saying about reopening schools. As parents, many of us have had to learn a whole new vocabulary when it comes to our children's education. Virtual learning, remote and distance learning, or blended options. What's the difference, and what exactly are we signing our kids up for this fall? WVTM 13's Ian Wright takes a look at the virtual option.
When the first school bell rings, your child's class won't look like this. Instead, this will likely be the reality, as many opt for virtual learning.
The real benefits to that is students can work at their own pace. They're not necessarily tied to what the teacher happens to be instructing at that time.
Ryan Hagedorn is the COO of Edmentum, a virtual and blended learning company used by 5 million students nationwide and abroad. They develop curriculum and teach students in a virtual setting K through 12. And this fall, that includes Jefferson County students.
In a pure virtual model, we will tend to utilize our teachers as an extension of the district and make sure that we are supporting their students who are in their virtual learning environment, and they're going to be interacting with their students all the time. They never lose that continuity of teacher to student, which is incredibly important in the learning experience.
Your daughter or son would get real instruction face-to-face all through technology. They'd even socialize with peers virtually and have a level of autonomy that Hagedorn says has proven to increase engagement.
And that's really one of the beauties of the combination of the teacher and the technology is the technology enhances the teacher, but also allows the student to work at their own pace and in a level that they're comfortable with that the teacher doesn't have to totally control. So
Hagedorn says even before the pandemic, leaders at Jefferson County Schools were exploring these virtual options, making this transition easier to handle.
These are really just expediting plans and in some ways enhancing and scaling plans to a much broader impact. But districts like Jeff Coed knew that this was going to be the trend that was occurring.
Ian Wright, WVTM 13 News.
To facilitate online, remote, and virtual learning, many school districts are equipping students with computers, tablets, and other electronic equipment, but they're still going to need access to the internet. For many students, that's a luxury they can't afford. And in rural parts of Alabama, internet service is often weak, spotty, and unreliable if it's available at all.
Virtual and remote school means learning online, and for some students, that's virtually impossible.
I have to download an app called Zoom for school so we can talk to each other and keep our social distancing. And I had to download it, and it just took forever, and sometimes it's poor quality and you can't hear what's going on.
Madison attends Meek High School in Arley. To access high-speed internet, she'd have to drive about 45 minutes to Coleman. The Coleman Electric Cooperative is working to change that. Crews have started hanging fiber optic cable to bring high-speed internet access to the underserved areas.
That has become the electricity of the 21st century. That is that required utility that everybody needs to live their everyday life.
But it won't be available for several months, and it won't be widespread for a few years. In the meantime, the co-op is working with school officials to provide wireless hotspots.
Even if it's on their campuses, that just extends it out so where after hours or even on weekends that students could come back up to the school, and even if it's just use the school parking lots to have that availability that doesn't exist anywhere right now.
But that would mean students might have to gather in public places to access the internet. Not ideal during a pandemic. In Leeds and a few other districts, school leaders are using buses to bring Wi-Fi hotspots to neighborhoods that may not have internet access.
If we're going to offer virtual instruction, we've got to offer all the things that students need to be successful with it. And knowing our student populace, we can't very well expect them to succeed in school if they have trouble connecting to the internet.
This idea works better in densely populated areas because the signal only travels a few hundred feet.
The cost of those mobile hotspots in Leeds is about $20,000 a year.
Besides teachers and parents, there are others stepping in to help guide students to success this school year, no matter what learning option they choose.
My goal is to not allow anything to slip through the cracks when it comes to their children's education.
But first, the substitute situation.
It's a mathematical certainty we're not going to have enough teachers to reopen schools come fall.
Will there be enough to fill the need? You're watching WVTM 13 Chronicle, Reopening Schools.
An ongoing national teacher shortage is shining the spotlight on their crucial fill-ins. Many were furloughed when last school year was cut short. So will they risk returning during the height of the pandemic? WVTM 13's John Papke looks at the back-to-school battle for more substitutes.
I've got 2 daughters.
After retiring from teaching for 27 years, Ann Marks decided she could not stay away from the classroom. That's why she spent the last decade serving as a substitute in Hoover.
I love encouraging the kids to be positive and look for everything that's good in life. So they give me more than I give them.
Then last spring, the coronavirus cut the school year short for her and dozens of other Hoover subs.
I was sad about not being with the kids, but I felt like it was in the best interest of everybody.
Fast forward 3 months. School districts are launching a variety of reopening plans across Alabama. Some will start off virtual, but many will offer face-to-face instruction. And with the teachers facing potential campus infections and quarantines, the need for substitutes to step in is greater than ever. Kelly Education is a national firm that places millions of substitute teachers in more than 40 states, including here in Alabama. Its CEO tells me they've already had some school systems say they'll need 2 to 3 times as many subs this fall due to the pandemic and an ongoing national teacher shortage.
It's a mathematical certainty we're not going to have enough teachers to reopen schools come fall. And that situation, if we don't really start talking about that as a country, that's only going to increase.
Hoover Superintendent is pledging to take whatever steps necessary to keep class in session.
We will get substitute teachers in place. We'll get other adults, aides, principal, superintendent, whoever has to go in and then provide some additional support in those classrooms.
The Jefferson County School District is already working to recruit as many substitutes as possible by offering more financial stability and a safe peace of mind.
We're going to look at different options such as offering to hire subs full-time and then to put them in certain feeder patterns so they're not crossing over to in various feeder patterns.
Marks has no reservations about returning to help fill in the teaching gap.
And they're going to do everything they can to keep people safe and well during this time. So I don't have any problems with going back.
And give kids a smile to start their day. John Papke, WVTM 13.
Odds are high at some point in this new school year, all students will be at home learning remotely. And that is stressful for many parents who must figure out how they'll continue to work and help their kids. WVTM 13's Brittany Decker shows us how a former teacher is using her experience to help.
Kristen Penuel turning her Trussville home into a classroom of sorts.
My plan is the island is kind of long, so I was going to have a kid on either side of the island that will give 6 foot distance, and then one here at the dining room table.
3 kids or fewer allowed inside at once, with Mrs. Penuel as the guide, or educational coach, to be more exact.
My goal is to not allow anything to slip through the cracks when it comes to their children's education.
Her new role inspired by all of the unknowns of heading back to school.
I just thought of all the parents around this country, and especially in Birmingham, who have to work from home or even go to their jobs and somehow try to figure out how they're going to teach their kids from home.
So she's using her experience and her gift.
A 2-hour session or a 3-hour session, and they will bring their laptops or Chromebooks or whatever they have, and I will basically be there to facilitate as they do their schoolwork.
Guiding students through what they don't fully understand and providing social interaction.
We'll work for 20-25 minutes over there in the kitchen and then come in here and turn on a Go Noodle video or a YouTube Kids workout video and sort of let them move around and get ready to start the next assignment.
Those who attend must wear masks and get a temperature check. In addition to group settings, there are also individual sessions.
One-on-one and just working with me, of course, fully masked and sanitized and all that, just to keep them extra safe.
Penuel says she wants to support the parents and kids' primary teachers. The interest so far is high.
I had probably 12 calls in the first hour and a half.
She wants to meet needs, even if this means connecting others together.
Next, what they miss, what they think schools will be like, and what scares them the most. Children tell it like it is when WVTM 13 Chronicle Reopening Schools returns. No matter which education option you choose for your child, this school year will be impacted by the coronavirus, and the students, our children, will be the most affected. So we want to end this show by letting you hear from them about their hopes, desires, expectations, and fears as we reopen schools. Until next time, I'm Lisa Crane for WVTM 13 Chronicle.
Definitely the thing that I miss most would be my friends, my teachers, and being able to talk to somebody that I have not seen in over 3 months.
My friends and the activities we get to do at school.
I miss math, unified arts, my friend Owen, Towns, Lewin. It's gonna look different. Everybody's gonna have a mask on. And we can't eat in the cafeteria. Wear masks, and we can't go on the playground.
I think school will look mostly the same, but our desks will be 6 feet apart. It'll be kind of weird for everyone to be like wearing masks in our school.
I think it's going to be very hard for the kids to social distance at school.
Not great. I would not learn much. I know that people will be wearing masks, including me, and it just won't be the same. I'm scared because I don't want to have the coronavirus, and I don't want to catch it and give it to people.
It's going to infect everybody in the world, and we're going to have a massive population problem. What scares me about COVID is getting it and then
passing it on to my family members or anybody else.